Welcome out to It's All Been Done Radio Hour. This week we've got a Meet the Cast episode when Chris met Virgil. Chris Allen, our amazing narrator, who also edits these podcast episodes, sits down with cast member Virgil von Hartzel, and they talk about all kinds of things. I haven't heard it yet. I'll have heard it before you guys hear it, but I haven't heard it when I'm recording this intro. I think you're really going to like it because I know Chris and Virgil, and I'm sure whatever their conversation is, I'm excited to listen to it. I want to thank Mad Lab Theater, our wonderful host site. Our Halloween show is coming up on Saturday, October 12th, 5 p.m. Yeah, that's a little bit early for Halloween. It's a couple weeks before Halloween, but we're always the second Saturday of the month, so we either gotta do Halloween early or late. We chose early. Mystery Dream Team is back, and other spooky goodness. We've got a really compelling, emotional episode of Universe Journey that I think you're gonna dig. So get your tickets at madlab.net/tickets. We also want to thank Circle 270 Media, which this podcast is a part of, and we want to thank It's All Been Done Presents, found at IABDpresents.com, a network of podcast, written work, video series, and more. One of those programs, the written work, It's All Been Written. It's our annual short story contest. We just released all the winning stories for season 3. It's a great group. I would recommend you get to IABDpresents.com and read those now, because they're not going to be free for very long. We're going to take them down. We'll be selling an ebook and paperback. It's going to be awesome, but read those stories now while you still have the chance to read them for free. And now enjoy this episode of It's All Been Done Radio Hour.
We are recording another Meet the Cast. I came prepared, man. How did you find out about It's All Been Done Radio Hour?
Well, I had just moved to Toledo at the time, and I was incredibly bored with my life. So I was Googling voice acting jobs in Ohio, and it's like, well, I wanted to try to do something that I've always wanted to do as a kid. And up on Google, this IABD comes up, and I'm like, I'll give it a try. So I auditioned for Grace at the Green originally. I didn't get the part, but then I auditioned the next month, and I got a part as a Southern brother during the zombie apocalypse. And when I was driving down for rehearsal, I was telling my mom what I was doing, and she's like, be careful, they might be like sex fiends or whatever, and like worried that I was going to somebody's house for this audition. Gosh. And so I went there, did the rehearsal, and I've loved it ever since.
That's about the way I did it. I did it by Googling. No, I Googled narrator or narration, and I found something that came up in Columbus. So I was able to find it through Craigslist of all places.
Nice.
And that's where I submitted just a quick demo for the part of the narrator, because that's pretty much my background. And
Craigslist was a scary place back then.
That's where the Google listing directed me. That's the way it went. So
nice.
That's why I decided. How did you feel about playing that first part? You said you were I think it sounds like...
it's like a Southern brother.
Yeah, Southern brother.
Apocalypse.
How did you feel about playing that as your first role?
I enjoyed it. Even though I died, I knew that I wasn't a returning character. But, it opened up the door for some other roles later on.
That was... that's
Scary Dead.
A Scary Dead, right,
yes.
right. Okay, yeah. Well, a lot of characters were dying in that one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. How many other characters have you played on It's All Been Done?
Ooh, I actually haven't been keeping track. I just play whatever Jimmy sends me, and a few auditions I send in. Sometimes I don't get it, sometimes I do. One of my favorite ones was playing the Dockmaster in the Top Notch Tangler. I sounded like a pirate there, It was like, oh, watch out there, you're gonna get hit, And I like to do funny voices at home, like in front of my mirror. So my neighbors probably think I'm crazy. But
it's no different from singing in the shower. So I guess
true.
True. We all have our own private expressions. I think.
Yeah.
Everyone does something. So.
And everyone at work, when I told them I was coming to Columbus, they're like, "What are you going to Columbus for?" And I started just saying, "Oh, just to see some friends and hang out." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And then I started posting these pictures of the shows on Instagram and on Facebooks and all of that.
Good.
And they were like, wait, what? What are you doing? Like, you're an actor? Yeah, it's like a totally different life when I go to Columbus.
So had you done any voice acting before this?
Just at home on the recordable cassettes.
Uh-huh.
I would just pretend to be like a radio DJ or something, which I've heard that you were a radio DJ.
Yeah, for 8 years, a couple different radio stations, one in Michigan
What part?
Benton Harbor.
Okay.
Right on the southwestern portion. I had to drive an hour and a half each way to go each shift, and I did that particular job for almost 4 years. And I eventually got another closer radio job in Joliet, which is right outside Chicago, where I was living at the time. And at that point, I was there for another 4 years, which was great because I didn't have to drive. It was just right down the block from me. But yeah, I did that. I did a lot of some production work. I did some radio commercials, and that's basically where my background is. I enjoy doing that. I enjoy just the mechanics of being in radio. Of course, I haven't been in it 20 years, I think. Taking phone calls, having contests, taking requests. Stuff like that is very, very. I've always, I always liked it. I was interested in it, but it also allowed me to get into production. I started doing some radio commercials. I did a few voices. I just did maybe like an old man or someone who was in pain, or I basically stuck to reading copy and just announcing what needed to be said, like on a commercial. I did furniture commercials. I did PSAs, I did restaurant commercials that were up there at the time. So, but I still enjoyed doing that. I like the mechanics of editing. And back then you had to splice tape. And eventually evolved into more software-based programs.
It's important to love what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to It's All Been Done, is there any particular character that you would like to have gotten the part on?
Well, I came in sort of late into the game because I know they started, I think it was mid-2015. Is that about right? When
Right.
It started?
Our
About
first
July?
show was August 2015.
August 2015.
Right.
I came in about September. No, I came in for October for the Halloween show. Back when we were at Pack Rat Comics, and I enjoyed it, but because I came in so late, I didn't get kind of a chance to go for the big roles, Captain Kake and all those kind of folks.
Would you have
the
liked
true
to have
stars.
done Kake or another character? Would you like to have done Georgie Jabs, or would you have done Packer or Radcliffe?
Well, I think I would have loved to be in Packer and Ratcliffe back when they were the commercials. I do know that these guys, I'm glad that they play the parts currently, because I know I could not do as well as they're doing in playing these characters. But, had I been given the chance, had I found it earlier on, I might have gone for it, and I may or may not have gotten it, but I don't think the show would be as great as it is.
I think the right people are in the right spots, because they all do such a great job with their characters.
Absolutely.
I'm really impressed, and that's why I like coming back and helping. And like I said, if you want to call it forte, was just announcing, and that's what all I really wanted to be. I think I've been I've been Who's Mom.
Oh, yes.
For a couple of episodes, and then sometimes I variate on the narration voice, but that's basically that's all I really wanted to do, because I don't think I'm really good with voice acting. I might be. I'm just a little timid to do it with such a great group now. I mean,
Well, I think you do great at it when you do it.
Well, thank you.
I know one time I filled in for your role as a narrator when you were absent for a month, and that was like some big shoes to fill.
Well, I wear a size 13 triple E. If anyone wants to take my shoes, you're gonna have to get a big shoe. So, have you hadn't done any voice acting before this, but had you done any theater or any other types of public performances?
I took when I was in 4th grade, we did like The Emperor's New Clothes and a couple other like smaller plays for the community theater. When I got to high school, our theater program had been defunded and was no longer around. Same thing with our band program. So it was basically sports, PE, and ROTC were the options. So I took ROTC, learned to be a little more assertive, kind of carry myself in a more heroic way, or whatever you want to call it. And then when I got to college, I took an acting class for my arts credit, and we had to do a 1-minute monologue in front of the entire class. And for those who don't know me, I'm very much an introvert. When I come to Columbus, I go under the name Virgil, but back home my name is Derek, and I am just the most clammed up person you can ever see. So it took a lot for me to get up in front of this class and try to do this monologue and try to figure out what kind of monologue I wanted to do. I was a huge fan of the Batman animated series growing up, and so I remember watching this movie where the Joker had come back in the future, and he had like this terrible monologue he was giving to Batman about changing Robin over to the dark side, or however you want to call it. So I chose that to do in front of the class. Something I loved, and the teacher accepted that proposal and wanted me to give it a try, and I thought I did pretty well.
While we're on that, what were some of your favorite TV shows back then that kind of inspired you to want to, either perform or voice act?
Well, basically anything Batman. It wasn't until later that I found out that the Joker was played by Mark Hamill from Star Wars, which I also adored at that time. And
he's good. He's a really good Joker.
Yeah, absolutely. He's the best Joker of them all. I don't think anyone can top him. They say Heath Ledger's the best. I disagree. I was born in 1990, so I got the bulk of the 90s that I was able to kind of digest and kind of see everything that's going on. When I got to be about 6 or 7, I started looking at the credits more after the cartoons rolled, and seeing some familiar names that I had seen on like real life. I'm like, oh, these are real life people doing this job. This is a pretty sweet gig. And I always thought, oh, you got to be famous to get on like The Simpsons. I mean, you don't just hear of no-name actors going on to The Simpsons.
Okay, in that aspect, as a voice actor, what would you recommend to anyone who might be listening, who might be interested in getting into voice acting, and what would you recommend to them? What would you say to them how to get into it, and what you should do, and where you should go? What would you say to someone who's interested?
There's an awful lot of podcasts put on by voice actors. I know that Rob Paulson, who played Pinky, and a number of other childhood sort of characters. I know Bill Farmer, who played Goofy in that time period as well. They all have these podcasts, and like they're willing to teach people how to sort of tune their voices, find out what they actually want to do, kind of get them passionate about it. For me, I mean, I got lucky and I just stumbled across It's All Been Done, and I've loved it ever since. So there's a lot of people interested in it, so they just have to kind of do the research for what's available in their area, and you don't have to move to LA to get into it. Just find some people that are like-minded, have that same kind of appreciation for the art.
I would like to just echo the same thoughts you just said. There are just so many opportunities right now for voice actors. I mean, you can do things from home now. You can submit them to podcasts. You can submit them to production companies, talent agencies. You will find what you're looking for. You will, if you don't find it right away, you will eventually find it.
When I was in 5th grade, I really wanted to, like during the morning announcements for the school, I really wanted them to do a part on weather. So, what the temperature was going to be today and tomorrow and the rest of the week, because I always got ready for school watching the weatherman, saying what it is. So I volunteered to our principal. I said, hey, can I do the weather? And I got to do that for a couple of months. Every single day, I'd miss the first 10 minutes of class to give everyone the update, and that was just sort of something that I
as a
loved.
Kid, when I was 8 or 9 years old, that was the first thing I wanted to do. I wanted to be a weatherman. Well, it's not a weatherman; it's a meteorologist
Right.
now.
Well, kind of segueing back to how to get involved in voice acting. I mean, look at what the creators of this show were able to do. They were old college friends.
Mm-hmm.
The writer, he loves to write. He does not like to actually do the acting, but he surrounded himself with people who enjoy it. And so you just kind of have to start somewhere, and if you can't join up, start something on your own. So what's your commute like to It's All Been Done?
Well, I live in Lewis Center, so for me, it is it's 20 minutes. So
Oh, that's not bad.
yeah, and you used to live, you said, in Toledo, and then
Yep. So I moved to Tucson
during
2
the
years
show,
ago.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, about halfway through my run with the show, and got on with I've been with my student housing company for about 5 years now. Moved up to Toledo for them, moved back to Arizona for them, and I've been traveling ever since. Now I'm moving officially back and not going to be able to travel as much. So my official title now is Special Guest Star, where It's All Been Done.
Yes. We are glad to have you. Actually,
yes. That special is very special to me.
It's yeah. Oh man, I don't think Jimmy wants to let anyone go. I mean, it's just it's a good group, and I think everyone just knows what we're here for. We're here to have fun, but we're also here to just be creative, just be somebody else for an hour, be different characters, escape for a while. That's what we want to do.
I always saw your Cubs stuff on your Facebook back when I had Facebook, and so I assumed that you were making the drive from Columbus.
No, I'm a Chicagoan originally. Any actors or actresses on the screen or on TV that inspired you to act or voice act that you are just your favorites? That
Kevin Conroy, he plays the animated Batman, and he has been playing it since I think it was like 91, 92 in the Batman the Animated Series, and all the movies that have come out since then with the Justice League movies and everything like that through Warner Brothers. They made a great selection of him. I hear a couple of different voices playing Batman on some of these animated ones, and I just immediately tune out. I'm like, okay, that's not Batman. That's Captain Pike from the new Star Trek movie. I can't remember his name, but
TV shows you're watching now. Let's go with that. You're watching now. While you think, I'm watching A Million Little Things.
Okay.
And I'm also watching Manifest.
Manifest. How is that?
Manifest is okay. It has dealt with just, I would say, only 5 people from a plane who went into time, who got lost like 5 years ago, and now it came back to 2018 all of a sudden, and all these people were presumed dead, but now they have to restart their lives over again.
It's a lot of paperwork.
A lot of paperwork, yeah. But they're having some type of, they call them callings. They're hearing things, they're seeing things, but they believe that there's a government conspiracy. Someone did this as an experiment, and they're trying to find out,
like the Philadelphia experiment. Or
almost,
like that.
yes.
Okay. Have you watched The Good Place yet?
The Good Place, I've watched a little bit with my wife. Is a big fan of that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh. The casting is perfect. It's such a great show.
They tortured them for the first year, right? Mm-hmm. And then
they didn't know they were in the bad place.
Correct.
Until the end.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I know a little bit about that, but I still watch some stuff.
I love Ted Danson.
Ted Danson's great. Let us know a little bit about Virgil. What is your favorite music? Your favorite bands or singers?
Well, I have a very interesting, I guess, collection of music through Spotify and my iTunes. It can go from the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack by Hans Zimmer, which I love and have listened to on repeat for 15, 20 years, almost 20 years, just about. 2003. Then it goes to Eminem, which I only listen to on occasion. My favorite band is Flogging Molly. It's an Irish band, so I heard them on the radio back during my teenaged angsty years. And I just loved them too. I've got all of their albums. Good Charlotte is another one of my favorite ones, kind of a punk rock. I'm starting to get back into the old school kind of rock and roll, kind of funky stuff.
I've never really left that. I don't listen to too much from today because I'm 57 this month.
You look 37.
Well, some people are charmed.
Yes.
So a lot of my stuff is a lot of the things that I listen to, I still can't get enough of is classic rock. I mean, I just love listening to small bands on major labels that released several albums that just, they didn't do anything. And I don't know if it was the politics of radio that they just, those people back then, the music directors or whoever was in charge of playing the music, they just either didn't like them or there was too much out there that they couldn't get to them. But there's just so much. I would recommend, if anyone's really liking classic rock, just listen to groups like Stars or Triumph from the 80s. They sound just like maybe Def Leppard or Cinderella or these other bands that made it big. They are just as good or better than the bands who made it.
Growing up, we listened to nothing but country. And then when I got to about high school, we were digging through our parents' CDs and started finding some oddities. Things like Metallica or Nine Inch Nails and Nirvana. It's like, who are you people? I'm like, didn't know who my parents were after that. And, ever since then, we haven't listened to much country when I go home. And whenever we're riding in the car with my dad, it's always on the classic rock station. Well, nowadays everything seems to be all about remakes and rehashes. I'm hearing a lot of pop songs. I can't remember if it was Rihanna, but it sounded like "Tainted Love" was like in the background. It was just the beat. It wasn't the actual lyrics.
Oh, that's correct. They do a lot of samples from different music. Let's see, a couple more questions about IABD.
Oh yeah, that's what we're here for.
Exactly. Is there any particular member that you just like to listen to? They're all good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Well, I would say that it's one of the newer additions to the cast, Kristin, our musical director. I believe that's her title.
Yes.
Yes. She's got such a wide range of characters in her, and she takes these characters to another place. Like watching her do New, then watching her do the halftime report is just totally different people basically up on that stage. She rarely looks at her script. She actually memorizes her script, unlike I do.
Absolutely. I really admire her for that. I wish I had that type of way of remembering lines, but I've been used to reading things off of scripts most of my life. But I like Sam. Sam is
she's always a joy to watch.
she is. She will put her performance into everything she does. She'll put her voice into it. She'll use different voices. She'll use different accents. She'll use her body language to make the audience thrill or interested to watch her. Unfortunately, you can't see that when you listen to it on podcasts.
There's so much energy in that, like watching it live and seeing all that energy sort of come out, and it just gets you more into what's going on. And you can probably hear a lot of it.
That's why you got to come. If you haven't been to a performance of It's All Been Done Radio, you have to come.
Absolutely.
Because listening to it maybe in a different state or somewhere around the world, it's different when you're here. It's expressive. I mean, we just don't sit there and just do voices. Some people just put their entire being into a character, and that's what makes the character. They make the characters.
Well, that's why I keep coming.
Yep, and that's why we want you back. Do you think that the show, do you think it has gone on longer than what some people might have thought?
I think it's been more successful than what even I originally expected it to be. Going from Pack Rat Comics, in their back room, it was, an interesting experiment. But moving on up to Mad Lab Theater in downtown Columbus, that was quite the move. And at the time, I was kind of scared for everyone. I hadn't been in the show terribly long at that time to really gauge, how successful they want this show to be. And I think it's exceeding expectations.
I think it has a potential of just really getting out there and being a premier entertainment hour to listen to. Well, once we edit it up, it's half an hour, but the podcasts are just a reflection of entertainment between just a great group of people. And I think it's a hard thing, and Jim was right, it's hard to market. It's hard to market. I don't know how you would market a show like this to get people to come, but I know he's busted his butt to get, where it's at. And I think it still has a long way to go. I think some members might leave, pursue different opportunities, but there's always someone that can fill the hole. Sometimes it'll be hard to do, but I think this show, or in general, just has a long way to go. I think this is just we've been here for 3.5 years. Mm-hmm. I think it still can go a long time.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's so much heart with everyone that's here. They want to be here. They don't feel like they have to be here.
Exactly.
And that's really why the show is still going strong right now. If people were to somehow feel, I don't know, get caught up in drama, because we're all about comedy, not drama. I could see some people leaving, but we keep it professional, keep it funny, keep it great. We shouldn't have any problem.
I think people are here because they want to express themselves. I think I've mentioned that before, but they love acting. I think acting is it's healthy, it's great. It just expresses yourself the way you want to be, and you take the parts you want. And I think that's what makes everyone come back. They don't have to be here because they need to be. They do it because they want to do it. And I think you could see it on everyone. There isn't really anyone that wants to, I just got to be there to be there. They're here because they love what Jim has put together. They love the people. They love the stories, the script. And I think it's just a great combination of people who come together. So let me ask you this. How long do you think you're going to be able to continue to guest star now that you're in Arizona?
I'm hoping indefinitely. I want to at least come about 3 times a year. That's how much I can afford, because it'll be all out of pocket now.
Yes.
But I cashed in some airline points for this trip, and I got to fly first class. I paid $11 for first class.
Yummy.
Round trip. So
good.
Fly out tomorrow, then get back to the grind Monday. Even if I have a wife and kids, I'd like to drag them out here. And
I was going to ask you about that. I don't think too many people know about a lot of our personal lives. You said you're married and you have kids?
Eventually when I get wife and kids.
Okay.
I'm accepting applications at the moment.
Hear that, ladies? So you're a single man.
Single man, living the dream, nobody to answer to. Get a flight to Columbus whenever the hell I want to.
Then don't get married. Then you'll have someone to answer to.
Yes. But, I want to find someone that appreciates some of the same things I appreciate.
There's someone for everyone. That's my belief. I hate to see people get old and not have some type of companion. I think you really can die of loneliness. And there's someone for everyone. So that's eventually someone will come along.
I'm damn near 29 years old, and I've had a few relationships here and there, but nothing that I wanted to spend my whole life with. So it's like someone will come along. I just have to be open to that experience, and when that happens, I'll be the happiest man in the world. Now, you've got a wife and kids, right?
I have a wife, and I have a daughter who is married, and she lives in Springfield.
How about some life advice for me?
Wise advice? I don't want you to leave. I don't want anyone in this group to leave. But if you have to, keep doing what you're doing, because you're a good talent. And I think if there's something in, is it Tucson, where you're at? I'd say go for it. If you have to give this up, I don't want you to, but if there's something that will make you happy there in the same realm of voice acting or even acting, do it. I'm all for opportunities. I missed a lot of opportunities myself throughout my whole career, and I regret some, but I'm happy where I'm at because I've done what I've wanted to do. I've always wanted to do different things, but my job as a financial investment advisor just keeps me from doing what I want to do, like this show. So I look for opportunities when I can, and that's why my advice for you, don't want to see you go, but if you see something there in Tucson, take it, because you never know where it's going to lead you. And that's my regret. My regret is I think some of the things that I skipped on could have led to different things.
That's good advice. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And I think that's going to be it, because I think we are out of questions, and I think maybe the podcast is long enough. So that's it for today, I would say. And I appreciate anyone that listened through the whole podcast, because I know they fell asleep listening to me.
No, you're the most interesting part. It's the only reason I listen to this podcast.
No, everyone's here because they want to listen to Virgil, because they miss you now, because we only see you every 3 months now. So they want to hear Virgil. So yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure, Chris.
Yes, thank you, Virgil.
And thank you all for listening.
It's all been done radio hour number 195. Meet the cast number 29. When Chris Met Virgil. Starred Chris Allen and Virgil von Hartzel. Starred might be misleading because it wasn't scripted, but they were the ones talking. It's all been done radio hour was created by Jerome Wetzel. Our technical director is Shane Stefanchik. Our music director is Kristin Green. The podcast is edited by Chris Allen. Please check out our website, itsallbeendoneradiohour.com, and follow us on social media at IABD Presents. Have a great week.
So all can be edited out, this weird silence.
So for anyone listening, this is Virgil von Hartzel. I am looking to become famous, make $1 million, do all that American dream kind of stuff. So if you have any leads, send them my way. You can reach me through the IABD network, and I'm happy to help out with whatever anybody needs. I've also been told I'm very attractive, but, that's between you and me.
It's All Been Done presents.
Who's got the time?